How to think faster than a computer. A friend of mine wanted to help me learn Spanish. So she decided to buy a book of short stories and read them to me. Before starting to read, she told me that if there was a word I didn't understand, I should stop her. By the end of the first page, I was laughing because there wasn't one or two words that I didn't understand. There was one or two words that I did understand. So out of the whole page she read, I remember hearing like the word table, the word car, and the word house. And then everything in between was just like... and I told her to continue, it doesn't matter. So she read the second page, and by the end of the second page, she was like, yeah, this is way too difficult, isn't it? This is not going to happen, is it? And I was like, no, really, this is way above my level. But as she had already bought the book, and we were there, I thought, you know what? Keep reading, because for sure these are words that I don't hear in my everyday life here in Costa Rica. So it can only be good for me to hear these words, get familiar with them. Even if I don't understand them, at least I hear them. I can practice, hearing the words as separate and not just like blah, 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 because that's already, good exercise. So she continued on reading, and what I did is that, as I couldn't understand the words anyway, I thought I might as well meditate through this. And I did a space meditation, and then something extraordinary happens. I stopped listening to the words. I stopped focusing on the words. I stopped my thoughts. I focused on the space that my body was taking, the space between me and the words, and the space between the words. And boom, suddenly I could see visually what she was reading. And it was really strange because I wasn't understanding the words the way I understand words in English, where I know exactly what it is. I was hearing the words, or I was hearing what she was reading as individual separate words, and as I was hearing them but not focusing my attention on trying to understand them, pictures formed in my head, and suddenly I could see the scenes appear in front of my eyes, and I was blown away because I was understanding what she was reading. Not intellectually, not consciously, but somewhere in my subconscious mind was able to process the information, the data, the words into imagery, into something that made sense to me. I don't suggest that this would be possible with a language that you've never learned. I don't know how that would work. But I've learned Spanish in school 15 years ago. I've lived here for 2 years. So there is a logic in that my brain has seen these words, has heard these words. My brain has stored a lot of the data. Consciously, I'm not able to process it because I don't have enough experience. I haven't practiced enough. I haven't put enough attention into learning the separate words. But my subconscious mind can do all of that way faster than any computer does. Whatever computer we have, the best computers we have, are still an extrapolation of how our mind works. It's still trying to reproduce what the human mind does. And as fast as machines are, I don't think that there is yet a machine that processes as much information as our brain does for our entire body. Because we often don't appreciate how much our brain does. Your brain controls and processes all the information within your body, your heartbeat, your the blood circulating all over your body, breathing, digesting, healing, recovering, fighting bacteria, fighting viruses, growing, changing, processing the millions of data and information that you see and put that into a 3D picture that makes sense, and the noises and the sounds and the movements, and I can walk and talk and look at my dog and do a million different things at the same time. And I'm not doing most of this. There's something in me that does it, but it's not my conscious mind that does it. So the trick to think faster than the machine, to think faster than the computer, is to get out of the way of your brain, get out of the way of your mind, and let it do its work. Let it do what it does best. So in a very strange way, what you want is to control the letting go of controlling your brain. You want to gain control over the aptitude, the skill of letting your brain do what it does and getting out of the way of your brain doing what it does. One of the techniques to doing this is space meditation. It's one of the most effective techniques that I've found. Not the best. Again, the best doesn't make sense here for me. It's a question of effectiveness here. It's the most effective I've seen and I've tried at getting out of the way and letting the brain do its thing. It's not the right meditation for a lot of different things. There's a lot of things it doesn't do. But when it comes to this particular thing, it works amazingly well. So quickly, how you can do a simple space meditation. You sit down in silence with your eyes closed, or you're walking outside like I am now. It doesn't matter. You can do it anywhere. And all you have to do is to scan your body from top to bottom for space. So how much space is there between your ears? How much space is there between your eyes? How much space is there between the top of your head and your chin? How much space is there between your shoulders? How much space does your stomach take? How much empty space is there in your mouth? And this is a first level space meditation. There's a lot more you can do. There's ways of going into void, which is one of the coolest meditation things that I've ever done, is when you feel that you're floating in void, but that's for another video. Yet the basic is this idea of noticing space within your body. You do that and you will get out of the way. You will let your brain, you will let your mind do what it does best.